So now let us have a look what lymph nodes can do. They essentially compress contiguous structures. This lymph node, by causing a partial obstruction, is creating a bell valve kind of an obstruction. So it leads to air trapping distal to it. So the mediastinal structures will be pushed opposite to the side of the lesion, and the child will have high penetration on one side. In this particular position, the lymph node is causing complete collapse of the airway, leading to distal collapse of the lung parenchyma. And the mediastinal structures will be pushed to the same side of the lesion. Now this third picture shows a lymph node which has ruptured into the airway, and this leads to a mnemonic pattern into the lung parenchyma. And this will be seen radiologically as areas of consolidation without any mediastinal shift. So this leads to endobronchial spread of the disease, leading to an endobronchial TB. So endobronchial TB, it represents the spread via the airways following either a caseous necrosis into the bronchial wall, or it may be a complication of cavitary disease. There may be a tree in bud appearance, and this is created by the centrilobular nodules and branching centrilobular areas of opacity. And this is basically due to the bronchial wall thickening and filling of bronchioles with fluid, pus or mucus. This finding is not specific for tuberculosis. It may be seen in conditions like cystic fibrosis, etc. This is a 2-year-old male child, and as you have seen, there is a right parahilar lymph node and non-homogeneous opacity on the right side. This is the mediastinal window showing a mass pressing the main trachea. And this is the lung window, and it shows a tree in bud kind of an appearance. On closer look, this is what a tree in bud appearance is. This is the radiogram of a 6-year-old child, and you can see the hilar lymph node mass on the left side. Moreover, if you see the right main bronchus as seen on this radiogram and the left main bronchus are forming an angle of more than 90 degrees at the carina. This indicates a subcarinal mass. Sometimes such masses are hidden in an AP view, and on a lateral film like this, they may be better appreciated. Now this is a rounded mass which is found by lymph node and vascular structures, and the hypodensity in the center is due to the trachea carina and the bronchi. So this is also known as the donut sign. Intrathoracic lymphadenopathy is seen as a sharply demarcated lobulated density, or it may be seen as an ill-defined density with vague borders. It occupies the hilum and obliterates the hilar point. It is considered highly suggestive of pediatric pulmonary TB, and it represents a local inflammatory response. Unilateral lymphadenopathy is more common than bilateral on a plain chest X-ray. Lymph nodes should be differentiated from central pulmonary vessels, and sometimes on an AP film they are not as well seen, and lateral help can better show intrathoracic lymphadenopathy. Sometimes thymus can look like a lymph node, especially in infants. There are useful indirect evidences for lymphadenopathy like impressions on the tracheobronchial tree, contours and caliber of the trachea, and splaying of carina, seen as a widening of angle made by the right main bronchus and left main bronchus at the carina of more than 90 degrees. Now this is a radiograph of a 2-year-old male child. Can you see any lymph node over here? So in this particular film, you can see some shadow on the right hilar region. Other than that, to comment on lymph nodes is difficult. But then we will have to look for corroborative evidence. If you look closely, you will see that the trachea is showing a compression from the left side. So this is the right border of the trachea, and on this side is the compression of the left border, and you can see the tapering of the tracheal lumen. So this probably is due to a lymph node which may be there, which may not be seen so well in an AP film. So this is the radiograph of a 3-year-old male child. And what do you see in this X-ray? You have the right side diaphragm which is lower than normal, and then the right sided lung parenchyma is relatively black compared to the left sided. It could be a pathology on the right side, a partial obstruction leading to an air entrapment, or a pathology on the left side due to a significant obstruction leading to a collapse. So now the same child comes back to us after 1 week, and what we see is a trachea which is shifted towards right side, and then there is a mediastinal shift, the heart is shifted towards right side, and there is a homogeneous opacity on the right side. So this indicates probably there was a partial obstruction initially to begin with, and once it became complete, there was a complete collapse of the right side. So interestingly, the story doesn't end here, and this child has been started on antitubercular therapy and steroids by somebody, and he has come back. And now what we see here is that the right upper and the middle zone is relatively opened up, and what we have is a straight border on the right side indicating a right lower lobe collapse. So what this case scenario essentially demonstrated is how, depending on the level of obstruction, the radiological manifestations can change from a air entrapment to complete collapse, and on decreasing of their obstruction it can again open up.